Hello, Lordfish back with another lesson in Blender. Today we're going to be going through a few more things that are a little bit more complicated. I think we're on lesson 6 now for Son of a Fish's official Blender lessons. I just wanted to point out one issue I was having when I popped into this earlier to try some things. If you go into tab mode, we're going to see this blue lining around everything on this one part of the design. And from what I heard, it's an issue from smoothing before and then cutting things out afterwards. So I'm just going to show you how to fix it. You might also see an extra set of black lines when you're out of edit mode. If so, just click on it and delete it. Click off, click on. Make sure you're on the right one. Move it to make sure you're on the right one. If it's just a skeleton outline, just delete it. And that was from making a ghoul. So now in here, we're going to go A. So again, just make sure you're just clicked on the car, nothing else. You'll see our issue come up. We're going to hit A. And then we're going to hit Control E. And now just 1 second as I try to make sure. Clear sharp is what we're going to do. And it's just going to clear any sharp edges that have been created through the process that we did. We might have done things slightly in the wrong order, but that's why. And you're going to notice this after, and we're going to fix that by just going shade smooth. Sorry, shade flat. There we go for now. And we will shade smooth it again and hopefully have some better results on it. See? And I don't know why that happened, but it's easy enough to clear and fix. And I just wanted to show you guys how to fix it before we moved on in case you're having similar issues. We can mess with this, but we're going to have to do it again later, so let's just leave it for now. As you can see, all the issues are gone now. Hopefully you have the same thing and you're right up to par. You should be good. Okay, so we're going to go out edit mode. We're going to hit Shift A. And this is going to be a more complicated part of the build. We're going to select a square. And so it's going to take a little bit more. We're going to keep it in the exact middle right now while we work on it until we're basically done, and then we will size it and try to put it inside of the hood and work around it for other pieces. But just for now, it's a little bit easier to work on. Let's just start by just making it a little bit this way. So we have almost a perfect square. We're going to edit mode. We're going to hit lines. We're going to click this line and then shift left click this line. We're going to hit Control B, and we're not going to move our mouse at all. We're just going to move it to which size we're going to make the size of our heads for our engines. We're going to do a dual head. There's going to be a head coming out of both sides of the engine. You may want to go find a picture of an engine if you're trying to design something more specific that's not exactly probably going to be the exact engine type that I'm building. So you're free to go a little your way and just kind of use this as a groundwork to get there. So once you've done that, we're going to stay in edit mode. We're going to hit Control R. And we're just going to put this exactly where we got it. We're just going to right click to let it center itself. And the reason it's only cutting half is because we've altered this block. So we're just going to do the same on the other side. So they're exactly in the same spot now. We're going to grab them and the ones below. And then we're just going to bring the engine slightly in near the bottom. Kind of giving you the classic V shape to your engine. Something like this. You're going to have to tinker around with it until you find the exact specs of how you want it. We can easily change the height of it though by just moving this guy up a little bit. We're going to do like so. I think that's what I want. That's going to be my engine block. You guys are free to choose your own or make your own the way you choose to do it. This is more just a groundworks again, but I think this looks pretty good to me. So we'll go out edit mode. We're going to hit Shift D. We're going to copy it, and then we're going to hit S, and we're just going to watch it kind of sink in the walls there. And you can see it's going to give us just a little thin layer everywhere. And we're going to go into edit mode, and we're still on faces, so we're going to click off and just grab the bottom face hopefully, and we're going to drag it down. And because the bottom of this engine block is actually going to be flat, you may want to make your engine block a little fatter, and we can just do that by shrinking this guy. Just keep in mind they're not going to shrink evenly. This is hard to see. So you may want to like draw this side to side in when you do it to give you more of a thickness to the block that's even, like either way around, so you have a nice square block. Something like that. I think we're right on right there. And let's change to our modeling shade too. It's going to change the way we see things, but that's fine. All right. So we're going to take the bottom one, and we're going to take the top one, and we're going to bool again. We're just going to choose the top difference, because it should be fine. It shouldn't create any issues. So now we have a hollowed out version with basically the same pattern on the inside. So when we go through the walls, or if we want to build the inner engine part, it's going to be easier to do so. Sorry about that, I got a little indigestion. Alright, so let's make a cylinder. Make your cylinder, and let's draw her on up here. Alright. I'm going to try to make a cylinder, basically the size of a cylinder for an engine block. So I think this is a round size, but we're not going to be able to tell. But let's go ahead and copy it, because we're going to need that block for more work later. So let's take it over here and try to drop it in and see if we can kind of figure out the angle that it's got to be sitting on. I feel like it's around 40. Oh, maybe we'll do minus 40 actually. And you can see over here, you can just kind of pop them in to make it turn to the right direction. Looks like it's a little bit off. Let's try minus 45. That's a little better. Minus 48. I might have went too far. Minus 49. I can't see the difference. It's not moving. Minus 49. That's actually pretty dang close. I can't tell if I went too far or not far enough. Let's try minus 48. Yeah, that's right there. So I found my angle at minus 48. Your angle might be slightly different. But you can see when it's pretty even and when you're pretty perfect on the angle. And I can see that this does need to shrink a little bit, and that's easy enough to do. So let's just shrink it. And we want to fit evenly on here, and we want to minimize the gap between each side of it so it's pretty even. We have a good thick wall on either side. I think I gotta go back just a hair. I'm sure there's a way to use math to do this, but I can't think of it, so you're on your own if you're gonna do it that way. Let's just stretch it a little more this way just in case, but I think we're good. So let's move it closer to where it's gotta be, just for a sec. And then we're gonna Shift D, and we're going to drag it over here, try to minimize the gap between this and the wall, and then we're going to Shift D it, and we're going to use math to drag it to this side. So I right click to cancel that, I remove the minus. There we go, we got the exact same thing in the exact same spot on the other side. So that's perfect. So let's move them one by one to the other side now. So we're going to Shift D. And then we're just going to change the angle to 0 for a second. And we'll see where we got to drag it. It's that direction. So let's get rid of the minus here. And then we'll do 48 without the minus. And we're exactly in the same spot, exactly on the other side. So we perfectly are able to move it to the other side. So we should be able to, again, just get rid of this minus. And we could just change this and get rid of this minus. And again, we're in the exact same spot. Oh, I forgot to duplicate that one before I moved it. Let's just take him back. Shift D it. I forgot to do that. Now we'll do the movements. Of course, you got to duplicate them for you don't take your original piece out when you're doing it. And whenever I duplicate, I always have a little bit of a laugh because Shift D always makes me laugh. It's Shift D, so it's being pretty shifty. All right. Let's get rid of that top minus. Let's get rid of this minus. Alright, so we got our cylinders, right? They are going to have to be booled out, but we're going to have to do a series of bools that are hopefully going to work. So let's look at the engine. So this is going to be the front of the engine. So knowing that, let's do this. Let's take all three of these. No, let's take one because the size is going to be different. Shift D it. Let's just drag it down a little bit. And let's drop this angle to 90. Something like so. And I'll explain what I'm doing as I'm going. So we're going to go a little smaller than the cylinder heads. And we're going to probably have to do something like this. Let's go a little bit. Copy our next one, Shift D. We're just going to follow the cylinder head pattern and try to get them right in the middle if you can. You can actually copy the number from up there and paste it in if you want, but I'm just going to eyeball them. I think it's close enough. We should just be able to add a minus here if I'm not mistaken. Nope, that's the other side. So it's going to be a minus here. There we go. So we got all three of them. So again, this is going to be your this would be your intake. So we've got to somehow run some pipes off of this after and hook it up to a carburetor or an air intake, and then run it through the engine basically. So underneath of this, we're going to Shift D this again. We're going to move this down, and just underneath we're going to have an outtake. So when the exhaust fuels and everything is finished running through the engine, it's also going to run out of the engine. And we're going to run this to our exhaust that's going to run out of the back of our vehicle. So there you have it. It's a little confusing, I know that. We still need to do a few more cutouts, so let's go ahead and add our next piece that we're also going to need cut out, and then we're going to have to really pray on the bool that it doesn't give us any trouble, because this has already been booled once, and this is going to be a super complicated bool. So I actually don't know if I have to bool this next one, and let's just copy this one for it. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll just run it through for we don't have to cause the extra resources of booling once again. Okay, not the right one. We're gonna just turn it the right way. Perfect. I'm just gonna drag it really long. That's what she said. Thin it out. Drag it a little long again. Oops. Grab the whole thing instead of just the one way. Keep doing it. There we go. And so we're gonna go about something like that. You may want to be a little more exact on your size depending on things. That's what she said. And we'll put it in the right spots. And okay, so you know what, we are going to have to make this thinner. I tried this is what I was messing with online, because I think we're going to try to make a crankshaft, and it's not going to be an easy one. So we're going to have to keep this in exactly the right place. So let's Shift D it. Let's drag another one over here. Let's Shift D it. And we'll put it in exactly on the other side by doing this, I believe. Okay, so now, okay, does it have to actually run out the back? Well, we need to have it connect with the transmission. So this side, I actually don't think it would run out the back. So we might have to change our measurements actually then. How do I do this? I will just do this. We will make it smaller and move it forward, and it should work just about the same way, and it'll just stop on the inside of this wall. And we might have to try to make a clutch plate, but we might not get that far into it. We're already doing pretty detailed engine. I don't know if I should bool those other shapes out. Like, should I bool this out? I feel like it's going to be fine just coming through. Let's just let it come through. So let's do our bool, which is these 9 from our engine block. Oh, these 12 from our engine block. And that's why I was saying it isn't a rather complicated bool. But before I do, actually, we're going to forget something. Let's Shift D these. And then let's go to the other side. Sorry, just these. And Shift D these. Because those are actually going to function as our engine pistons. So we're going to actually need an extra copy of them there. And we'll work on them and get them a little better in shape. But we just need to have them in the right spot to assure that they're exactly centered and things like that for the math of the whole thing. Again, I did say this was a little more complicated. So we got our 12 pieces. Let's try our bool. Let's see what happens and pray to God it works. And it looked like it worked. It looked like it worked. So let's just move it so we can see things a little bit easier, but I'm pretty sure. I'm going to right click to cancel. We had a successful bool, and hopefully you had the same thing as me. And so you have your holes clean through all the way around. And we can get a little more to work in a few minutes. So what we want to do next, and sorry, we're trying to think ahead, so things are taking a little longer. Let's take this piece, let's drag it down a little bit, let's drag it back a little bit. Okay, so in a crankshaft, and I'm not the best automotive person, I'm not the greatest, I don't have the greatest understanding of this, but the idea is when your crankshaft, let's copy this and move it over to there. When your crankshaft turns or spins, because it's out of a sync like this, these pieces are going to spin in a circle and actually drive both your sets of pistons in and out at a different frequency, because as this sits on a different angle on this side, it's going to have these at a different angle and these at a different angle. Hopefully I'm doing this right and I'm explaining this right, but let's go ahead and try to make this work anyways. I think last time I made a 4-cylinder. This time we're making a 6-cylinder, and we're doing a V engine instead of a straight engine this time. So if I make a mistake, let me know in the comments and we'll try to mend it as best as we can. Okay, so we're going to make a piece that's going to basically go from, let's shrink it way down so we can work with it here. That's going to basically go from one to the other to connect them. So let's try to think of a really smart way to do this and make it look good at the same time, like it's supposed to be there. So obviously that's the wrong shape quite a bit, so let's thin it out. Let's drag this up. And I can hear my son of a fish in there playing with his buddies when he's supposed to be working. That's not good. We'll deal with that in a minute. We might have to take a little break. Okay, let's move that there. Try to center it between the both of them. Okay, we'll go to edit mode. We're gonna grab some edges. And we're gonna Control B them, and then we're gonna roll our mouse wheel until they kind of shape to what we want. This is basically what we want. Something to join the two pieces. You can keep going on your mouse wheel as much as you want. You want it to have a decent shape to it. Looks like we got the gap covered pretty good. We'd probably shrink it just a little bit side to side, like so. Just kind of wheel her in something like this until it's just basically just covering it. We've got almost the same gap top to bottom. It looks pretty good to me. Thin it out a bit more. And this is going to be our connector piece that's going to connect the two. So let's make sure that there's a good gap in on each piece, so there's no edges coming out. Looks pretty good to me. Let's Shift D it. Let's send it to the other side. So I'll atomine this here. Bam. And we'll Shift D it again. And we'll try to get it placed on this guy. And I think we're pretty good there. And we'll Shift D it. And we'll see if we're in the right spot on the other side. We may have to move this one because I did kind of hand place the other one. And it actually does fit. That's pretty convenient. And there we go. So now we have what I would consider a crankshaft. Again, let me know if I'm wrong about this in the comments, but we're going to go ahead and start connecting it. So let's just grab every other piece on the way into the middle, grabbing this very middle piece last. We're going to Control J. And now let's see if it works. Let's see if we can turn this and make our crankshaft turn, okay? We're going to grab the blue one, and look at that. Look at it. Look at it. We're cranking our shaft. Crank that shaft, baby. Crank that shaft. All right, sorry. Right click to cancel. I just wanted to make sure, but that's pretty cool. As you can see, it's actually functioning just the way I imagined. It's staying exactly centered while it's moving the two other edges, forcing the pistons to pump in and out on the other cylinders. And again, I'm just hoping to give people a basic understanding of this stuff as we work through it, because we might as well, right? That looks pretty good. We got our piece. We got a working crankshaft now. We're going to have to make some connectors to our pistons and things like that. And I'm not exactly sure exactly how we're going to do it, especially since each piston's in the exact same spot on either side. But we will get this figured out as we go. Okay, so we have our cylinders. Maybe we will try to make a cylinder head for either side, and then we will end the video for today and move on, because today is a super complicated build, and it is going to be a lot of thinking about things and making sure they work correctly. All right, so, and am I mistaken? Are they exact same size spot on both sides for the cylinder heads? Maybe I'll wait for you guys to give me a comment on this. Like, maybe they just connect over top of each other. I don't know exactly. We'll figure it out. We're smart. We'll figure it out. Let's do another square. We'll get this episode wrapped up. What time are we at? 21 minutes. Perfect. Okay. So obviously it's got to be much smaller than that, but we do need to keep the side to side exact, because it's the exact same size as the engine block, and that's something that we need. So let's do something like this. I'm just guessing at things, trying to get it for it's going to fit over one of our edges here. So let's go down and just kind of check it out. I'll go over here. And what was our angle? We can look at it and find out. 48 minus 48. Since we've already done the math, there's no sense in doing it again. We'll just go ahead and use the same angle. And we can kind of check it, see if we're oversized. We basically want it to fit in and not hang over the edges on either side. And I think we're just right there somehow. Oh, we're a little small actually. Let's center it between the two. There we go. That's perfect. And obviously we can't have this nasty square sitting here, so let's do something with this. We'll try to figure out a better shape for it. Let's probably suggest doing a ring, and we'll drag it down near the bottom. We'll do a second ring, and we'll stop it right about there. And I don't know for sure, we're just trying this, so if I get this wrong, we have to do it a different way. Just understand that a lot of the times I haven't practiced this all out. I'm just trying to make it work on the fly. Oh, I missed one. We're going to grab that one, hit Control B. Sorry about that if you guys can hear that. I'm dealing with that right now. And we're just going to move these pieces down to like here. I'll try to grab the whole top and shrink it a little bit. I do think we're going to have to do this slightly different than I thought. Sorry about that, everybody. If you have teenagers, you know what it's like. They are just monsters to humanity. Alright, something like that. I think that's going to be good. Let's grab the top pieces. We might have to make one more ring in this too. And the reason this is going to be to stop this edge from rolling over onto the next piece. And you'll understand what I mean if you try it without it. Because we don't want it to roll all the way down here and onto this edge. So this should limit it, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that looks pretty sharp. Though we got a little bit of work that we need to do still. Yeah, that'll do for now. Then we'll Shift D. We'll go ahead and we'll take this piece to the other side. Oh, that's the wrong one here. And we'll just brightness this. Alright, so we got our cylinders, we got our cylinder heads, we've got our drives for our exhaust, our intake, we've got our crankshaft. we will stop there, and I know it's been a lot and doesn't really seem like we have a lot built, but this is going to take a little while. We need to do this one step at a time and be careful. So hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, make sure you give a thumbs up and check out my channel. I got lots of fun stuff. Check out Queenfish Games. She is my wife. She is the co-creator of all our games and has an amazing channel. So check her out at Queenfish Games, and check out our website, queenfishgames.com. Check out our games on Steam, Yard Sale Town to Remember. Sorry, that's not it. Yard Sale Simulator and Fished in a Town to Remember. I just combined them into one super game for you guys there for a second. But check them out. They're amazing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.